Tinubu, this thing that you are watching DSS do to Sowore and you are keeping quiet about it will cost you more. And sincerely speaking, I'm going to tell you now head on, from now onward, I'm going to have nothing more rather than coming to state the obvious in regards to you. Sincerely speaking, it's better you allow the sleeping dog lies. We know that Nigeria is a kind of a kangaroo country of which we are left to choose between evils of necessity. But in so doing again, go about that. Allow every other person, but allow people that are of good conscience to actually fight or do things the way they understand. But if we go this way, I am telling you, it will cost you more. And politically, it will cost you more than what is costing you at the moment. Just like me and a lot have actually decided for now. And let's start it from now onward. And I'm going to be doing episode of these videos in Hausa as well. Well, for people that cares to know, in 1993, in Chicago, the US government launched an investigation into a heroin trafficking ring or whatever. And of which, at the end of the day, they discovered that there was some certain amount of money in the account which Tinubu happens to be controlling that was as a result of proceeds of substance trafficking, that is heroin. At the end of the day, as they initiated the investigation or whatever, somehow along the way, Tinubu was mentioned. And as a result of the fact that he was also part of the figure in the sense that some of these monies were traced into his account. And as a result of it was not taken to court or whatever, out of civil, whatever, it was now agreed that finally Tinubu forfeited $460,000. $460,000 to the United States government. And that was how it continued, right? And since he never got to the court, he was never charged or whatever, he forfeited that. I want to believe a gentleman's agreement or whatever you call it. But let's assume it's something he doesn't know or he was not involved in it. But recently, the US now decided to come up and say that, the United States government decided to come up and say that they want to release the files of those transactions and of the transactions of the accounts that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did that somehow is tied to this substance trafficking issue. But what did our current president do? He actually hired a US lawyer. And to be more specific, the lead counsel then was somebody Oluwole Afolabi, to go and actually tell the US of the need not to release those reports. Not to release those reports. And somebody like me now, that I want to believe a clear conscience fears no accusation. The next question that comes to my mind is, why will somebody that knows that his hands are clean will not want such records to be released? Because at a point in time, before the election that even made him the president, this was actually dominating the media. And somebody like me now, I want to believe this is an avenue to clear my name. But do you know what our president did? He hired lawyers to go and tell them of the need not to release that. Because when such incidents happened, he was not a public figure. But now he's a public figure. But the question I keep asking is, what is the relationship between a public figure and being a non-public figure to Nigerians? And to Nigerians is very important in the sense that when you become a public figure, these are some of the things that we would like to know so that we will know who we are dealing with. So why are you stopping that? Why are you actually stopping that? If your hands are clean, just like I said, a clear conscience faces no accusation. And now coming back to the aspect of Sowore calling him a criminal. Well, the fact is there are many definitions to a criminal. There's the legal concept of defining somebody as a criminal, which is the fact that he must be charged and he must be prosecuted or whatever. But there are other aspects of referring to somebody as a criminal again. And when you look at it, check it, you get to see that anybody that has some evidences piled up against him in regards an illegal doing or a wrongdoing can be termed as a criminal. And that is just the fact. So as a result of that, will it be wrong if Sowore comes out and say that you are a criminal? Not legally, because he was not discussing it legally. He was discussing it as a concerned citizen and as a legitimate citizen. So what is the point? What are you trying to hide? So the fact is, sincerely speaking, if you will listen to this counsel well, Sowore is the least of your problem. Allow the sleeping dogs to lie before we actually expose a lot more and talk about a lot more. And possibly if you term this as cyberbullying again, let's see where I have not stated the obvious of what you have been involved in and things that you can be tied to. And let's go by it this way. I'm telling you so far, this is going to be me for now, at least, till you release a man. Stop.
The truth cannot be erased. These are the things that have been going on for a very long time. The same thing happened to Tinubu when it comes to the certificate and said, oh, they should not release. Why would you not want them to release? Because that is one of the reasons or the genesis of the arrest of Sowore. And somebody was telling us that, Tinubu is not the one who is to be blamed for the arrest of Omoyele Sowore. Is the DSS. Are the DSS people? What are they fighting for? Are they not fighting for Tinubu because Sowore called him a criminal? And that is exactly what people are talking about. You want to uproot this whole thing, because we don't have a system that really fights justice. And unfortunately, I don't understand the game the US government is playing, because they are not even being sincere on all fronts. They are not sincere at all. Nobody is above the law. Somebody say nobody is above the law. Above the law of what? Calling somebody a criminal, something that you say you did not do, and you don't want them to expose the hidden secrets of the whole thing. The US government also is playing a kind of game that we don't even understand. A presidential candidate for that matter. Well, tell us about Atiku case in the US also. You that know the Atiku case, talk about it. The one that this guy knows is what he's talking about. Yeah, a lot of people are so daft. You are so straightforward and intelligent and accurate. I fear you. A butterfly claims to be a bird. They play, who be you? You see, there are people who start crawling out. It is in this Nigeria. That is the reason why people from we go abroad, they will tell you, say, abroad is too boring because of the lawlessness. Lazy people who don't want to work, they will not tell you, oh, the work is tedious. And meanwhile, they are in Nigeria, they will complain that they work and yet they are not being paid. You are working and you are being paid for the work you do, but they will come out and say, no, it is not like that, or it is not like this. So must you people be proud of supporting a criminal openly? Yes, so that is the order of the day. Nigeria is something else. They will support you, and so what? Is he the first person to have committed such a crime? That is what you'll be hearing from them. Who be this one again? We know this already. What more? Since you know it already, what do you say about what your president is? Exactly. Nothing will happen, because it is not the business of Mr. President. How is your health? Because this one, bad. What more again? Then what is on ground should be a concern for everybody. You see now, all their supporters are crawling out to come and tell you that this and that. He's doing this because he has a 100 assurance in INEC and that is why he feels he can do anything he likes. Nothing will happen. Sowore is the next president. We will vote for him. So guys, let's hear your opinion and have your take on this. Thank you.